will meet with you and discuss if it's a good fit for both of us. All right. So spending this incredible moment with me today for the next half an hour is Caroline HEWARD joining us again. Hello, Caroline.
Hello.
And also Diane Floyd-Boehm. Hi, welcome.
Happy to be here.
Well, this is really exciting to be able to spend this time with you. As you know, we were together for A Better You, and we streamed 100 episodes of A Better You, and this is our final one in this second segment, which is, I think, 24 episodes. And as I mentioned, we will be back in November with our new updated platform. So we're very excited to have you here with us today. We do have a couple of comments from Amina. Hi, Amina. Nice to see you. And I love this. So much greatness in one room. Oh, that's really sweet. Thank you. Thank you for watching. All right. So what can you expect for today? Caroline is going to lead us through another mind-blowing presentation. Diane and I will be backstage. We will be listening intently, and then we'll come on and just have a conversation about what we learned. How does that sound?
Perfect.
All right. Diane, you ready to go backstage with me?
Ready.
All right. Caroline, here's your deck. And have a great presentation.
Thank you. It's really honourable to be here today on the last show in this series. And actually, it's my last specific presentation in this series. Today I'm going to be looking at the final part of the Mind and Body Connection series and being in your flow state and in the zone. The Mind and Body Connection series is a series of lessons, and it's a transformational healing journey. When you become a witness to your own behaviours, therein lies the route to transformational behavioural change. In awareness, you can change what doesn't work for you. Today, we're going to focus on why you feel drained at the end of your day, how you can make your activities flow more easily, and are you a drain or a radiator, and why people pleasers suffer in silence. So at the end of your day, are you drained or energized? Sometimes I'm energized and sometimes I'm drained. So let's look at some of the reasons why that might be the case. When we're doing activities, if we're doing different activities such as admin, if we're doing a client session, or we're taking phone calls, or we're doing our accounts, essentially they're different activities which rely on different modes of attention and different modes of energy. Now, have you ever noticed that when you're doing your accounts, for instance, that it requires a very intense and focused energy, but if you're with clients, it's a much more relaxed energy. And if you're doing your emails, that's a different type of energy. And sometimes we push ourselves to do all the different things, the different types of things in one day. And you ever notice that sometimes it takes you a little while to get going, and it's not so easy to get going. And then when you kind of get going, you get in the flow of whatever you're doing. Well, here's some reasons why. It takes 20 minutes for your energy to adapt. So if you're doing your accounts and then move into an email, it's quite hard to change the energy of working from your very focused accounts and receipts and spreadsheets into your emails, because your mind, the energy is still focused in a very, very foveal way. That's a very, very specific look where you're staring and you're very focused, and it's a different energy. And what it does is it steals energy. it steals our time, because if we take 20 minutes to adapt to that change, then we struggle to get going on the next one. And then as soon as we've kind of got started, if we've only allowed half an hour to do that specific email, then we're back into a situation where we haven't actually achieved it. So it produces a much lower state of productivity. And my invitation for you, because I've been working like this for many, many years, because I kind of got that I couldn't do my accounts in the same day that I would be doing emails or taking phone calls. I would just literally have to do my accounts. And one of the things that I saw fit to do so that I didn't get disturbed was I started to do them at kind of 11 midnight and then work through the night, because then I wouldn't get a disturbance of calls or emails or messages to deal with. And I used to get just so much done by doing that. And so my invitation is for you to look at how much time you're taking when you're moving into a different activity. If I'm doing shopping or cooking, it's a different energy to being in my emails. So it can take me an hour to do an email rather than doing it in half an hour if I was just sitting there very quietly doing my emails. So notice how much time it takes you and why it's difficult to get started. And when you get started and you've gone through that 20 minutes, how different it feels. So bunch the same types of activities together to increase your productivity, not only in your business, but at home and in your relationships too. Have an admin day, accounts day, a client day, and enjoy much higher productivity and a much more higher sense of fulfillment. So are you a radiator or a drain? I bet you're wondering what I'm really talking about. So let's look at these concepts. Are you a drain? Would you have drains in your life? When you're in a drain relationship, either yourself or with someone else, you'll have a feeling of feeling diminished, criticized. You'll always feel as if you're on the back foot. And if you're in a drain relationship where the other person is being a drain, they will put you on the defensive straight away. And so just look at when you go defensive, then you know you're in the company of a drain. You'll almost have a sense of dread, like sort of you'll be building up a sense of dread or guilt before even speaking to them, because they're already in your energy field. They will generally point out your pitfalls and the dangers, and they'll kind of take the victim stance on activities that you're getting involved in, your dreams, your aspirations, your goals, the things that you've decided to do. And they can be a real dampener when you're looking at doing something that's completely beyond the scope of most people and completely beyond the scope of what is normally possible in the time frame that you're looking at. And they kind of top your problems and achievements. So we was talking about it yesterday in our listening session with Dr. JACALYN, and it's kind of the one-upmanship, you know. So if you've got a problem, they've got an even worse problem, like a bigger problem than you, and then we'll talk about it. And if you have an achievement, they will have an even bigger achievement, and it will always be that they move the focus onto them, and that starts to drain your energy. So does that sound recognizable to you? Are you a drain, or do you have drains in your life? Are you a radiator, and do you have radiators in your life? So radiators naturally make people feel really good. They're infectious. They're a live wire. They can be silly. They can be very, very humorous. They radiate energy and enthusiasm. Have you ever been with somebody and you're feeling really like you've had a bad day and a difficult day, and then you're with this person and suddenly you come to life. Suddenly you become energized, easier, silly, playful, fun, inquisitive. The radiator has the cup half full mentality. Sorry, the cup half full mentality. The drain has the cup half empty. So are you a radiator? And do you have radiators in your life? I want to move on to people pleasers. And there's a beautiful healing practice here of saying no. Because people pleasers want to please people by always being available and always saying yes, even when it's not so easy for them. They just find it difficult to say no. You are not responsible for other people's emotions, so you can't make somebody feel better. And my invitation to you is to stay true to your own personal values. What feels right for you is a value. And that's your road to becoming authentic. Now, people pleasers, because they find it difficult to say no, other people realize that. And so people pleasers are very easy to manipulate. Saying yes literally means you say no to what matters to you. Let me say that again. Saying yes means you say no to what matters to you. And that gives you space to say yes to the things that feel right. If you're saying yes to everything, there is generally no room for anyone else. There's only room for everyone else. There is no space for you. And you cannot please everyone, no matter what you do, no matter how many hours you put in. There's no way you can please everyone. So you end up disappointing most people, especially yourself. Especially yourself. At the heart of a people pleaser, there are fears of conflict, abandonment, and loss. Does that now make you look at a people pleaser in a slightly different way? They are worried about conflict or being left alone. And are you always worried about bothering other people? Are you concerned that you're taking space when you don't really feel welcome? This is behind the people pleaser's behavior. They are frightened of that abandonment and the loss. So my invitation to you is, rather than taking advantage of the people pleaser, really feel what feels right for them and what feels right for you. And disengage in a behavior that is not good for them or for you. A truly strong person does not need the approval of others, any more than a lion needs the approval of sheep. And a people pleaser is doing exactly that because they're seeking approval. They are seeking a way of being accepted. Now that can cause a serious energy drain on the person that's people pleasing, because they're not being their true selves. They're not living their authentic life. They're living somebody else's, everyone else's but their own. So a truly strong person does not need the approval of others. Mahatma Gandhi said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." And we are in change times right now for everyone, in different ways, in our relationships, in our business, in our social, in our friendships, and in our work. Strange and different times. And it's all too easy to move into a place of complaining or saying, oh, this isn't right, that isn't right. And it's very easy to do that, but that drains our energy. So my invitation for you is to step in your place of greatness. And if you're not liking what you see, decide to do something different and change what you want to experience. Because we are our own universes and we can change things. We can change our experiences despite the craziness that is happening right now in our today's world. We can make differences. And my change is that I desire to experience world peace, not just for myself, for my family, my friendships, my colleagues, everyone I come into connection with, and the world. And it starts with me. It starts absolutely at the center of my own universe. It starts with moving from the head consciousness, from the thinking, the conversation, analytical debate, to my heart. It doesn't look like a long journey, but you know what? That journey is the journey to absolute inner peace that transcends you, that transcends and moves into your family, your friendships, your working relationships, your business, your country, the world. We all leave impressions as we walk through life. We do. We leave a footprint. What footprint are you leaving? Do you leave people feeling inspired? Do you leave people feeling uncomfortable? Do you leave people feeling energized? Have a look. Be observant. Become your own witness. And look at how people leave you. We have a duty to leave great impressions, not only for ourselves, for our families, for our friendships, for our work colleagues. We owe it to the world. This is how we will create our inner peace and our world peace. Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't know if you were going to give your contact details or not. I was waiting.
I felt like I just wanted to leave it there. I was thinking about it, and then I thought I'm going to leave it in that space. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Nice job. Well done.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break and then we'll have a chat about Caroline's presentation. How does that sound?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Here we go. We'll be right back.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Story Garden. Your host, Diane Boehm. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Diane Floyd Boehm tells wonderful stories that warm the heart, spark the imagination, and unite people and families across generations. For children, Diane's Harry the Camel connects with all of us who've ever wondered how different our lives might have been if only we'd been born something better, like a wonderful horse instead of an ordinary camel. In the end, we all learn along with Harry that there's nothing better than just being yourself. Diane's Little Girl in the Moon looks down on earthbound children and wonders if they know she's just like them. A story of love, home, and the bond between mother and daughter, its powerful theme that we're each of us different yet all of us the same plants a seed in children that promises to blossom within a loving and trusting grown-up. Diane's new biography, Rise, recounts the experiences of her grandmother, Ruby, to reveal the hidden strength of the human spirit. Ruby's story inspires all of us to become the best versions of ourselves. You'll find all of Diane's delightful books and much more at DianeFloydBoehm.com. Visit DianeFloydBoehm.com. That's DianeFloydBoehm.com.
and welcome back to USA Global TV, home of Talking Heads. And also hello and welcome back to Business Talk Radio, to people listening to us there. We're so happy to have you here in this very special edition of Talking Heads. Caroline HEWARD just led us through a beautiful presentation, and Diane and I are here to give her some feedback from what we learned. So Diane, I'll start with you.
Oh, it was wonderful. You always give incredible insight of how we can be a much better human being. I have so much to say, but I'll leave it for a moment anyway. Your 20 minutes to adapt to change, I found that fascinating, and it's so true, which really tells people multitasking does not work. But
it doesn't.
That really resonated with me. 20 minutes to adapt to change. How about you, Dr. Jacqueline?
Thank you, Diane. I love the whole thought process about people pleasing. I am not a people pleaser anymore, but I was a people pleaser for a part of my life, and it literally was exhausting. It's like you can never do enough, and people get so used to you doing everything that then I think they just take you for granted even more, because it's just assume, oh, let her do it. She's always going to, I'll just call her, she'll do it. And then you don't want to say no because you're afraid that then they won't like you or love you. And finally you realize, got to get it together, do some internal work.
100%. I used to be so upset, like I was just like you, wanting to please everyone because I thought that's how you made everybody happy. But instead, I was like not making myself happy. So I really appreciated what Caroline had to say, because like you, Dr. Jacqueline, we learned to say no, but it was a real interesting door to walk through, and to know that you're still okay, and that if someone says something negative about you, well, you have to just learn to have a tougher skin and know that you're doing the right thing for you, or whatever it is. Do you think that's right, Caroline?
I absolutely do, because I was a people pleaser for many, many years. I was the person that just said yes to everything, and I was always seeking approval. And I remember my best friend turning around to me at some point and said to me, "You don't need my approval. You just need to decide, go ahead." But I would never do something. I would always check in. And then there came a point that I stopped asking. And it was when I was being my true self. And it's been a journey, to become my real authentic self, because I have way out feelings and principles and wants and desires that most people think I'm just kind of completely off my trolley, and that I move.
I love that saying, off my trolley.
But the more that I've become true and authentic to myself, that the more I'm saying yes to what's right for me, it allows me much, much better clarity to say no. And I'm much less of a people pleaser now. Yes, I do want to help people and do everything that I can, but I can't do everything if I'm following my own path. And in that path, other people come in that I would never, ever have experienced. And because you've left space. But if there's no space, if you're saying yes to everything, there is no space for those people to come in and take you in the path that is your desire. And so you never be your true self. And it's been a tough experience for me. And I'm just living it because it puts you in your flow and you feel in the zone.
Dr. Jacqueline, what that reminds me of, and I'm so happy that you shared that. But remember, Dr. Jacqueline, you were taking that, was it 75 days? And
75 hard.
75 hard. And not to restate your story, but what I loved at the end of your story was how you let it go. And all of a sudden there was this, as Caroline said, there was this space and something new and magical happened. Am I right, Dr. Jacqueline?
Yes, you're exactly right. I wanted to do this challenge 75 hard to see if I was tough enough, to see if I had what it took. And basically it was making me sick. My ulcerative colitis came back because it was from all that water. For me, for my size, a gallon of water a day was too much, day after day after day. And I didn't want to let go because I was afraid that, you know, people wouldn't like me. I was in this Facebook group that was just for that. I'd be like, oh no, what are people going to say? And I've been on Instagram saying, oh, I'm doing this challenge. And I thought, I need to be true to myself and I need to let go of that. I can't be a people pleaser because it's having an effect on my health. And so it's okay to reevaluate and let go. And I also think when you're a people pleaser, Caroline, to your presentation, is that you are drained constantly by the drain. The drain is constantly coming to you for more and more and more. And I look back over my life and I think, wow, I've known a lot of drains.
Me too. Me too. And they take advantage of the bit. They really do. They know, oh, give it to that person. She's going to say yes. She always does a good job. And it leaves nothing for you. You just feel like there's another list. I actually found that I had a huge to-do list and never got through it. And it wasn't my to-do list, it was everybody else's. And it was painful. It was painful to start saying no. And it was difficult. I'm not saying it's easy, but as soon as I started to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that, or no, that's not right for me, something magical happened to my energy and I became much more in my zone. Just like you did when you said, no, this isn't right for me. And, you know, sometimes we can choose to do something and it's not right and we learn. And it's not wrong to say, I had a go with this, but it's not working for me, so I'm going to stop. That takes a bigger person to say, this isn't right for me. I thought it would be, but it's not working, so I'm going to stop. And when you stop, it's magical, the space that you have and the energy that it gives you.
I love that.
That is, I do too.
Another thing you talked about, which I love, because I know I always told I would share with my mom, I'm not around them anymore, Mom. They have such negative energy. I have to be around positive people. And what I really loved about what you spoke about was the radiator or your drain. And just, you could be a radiator, and there's a real difference between being a radiator, I believe, and maybe you could clarify it, and then the person that's a positive, always saying and doing things. You shouldn't confuse the two, right?
No, they're different. They're different energies. A radiator is enthusiastic. They're fun. They're playful. They're looking at new things. And when you're around a radiator, you'll naturally feel an energy and you'll start laughing. And you can be silly. You know, it's almost like you almost go back to your childhood and you can be playful because you go back into the second chakra, which is the sacral chakra, and also the chakra that's about your desire, your movement towards things, your passion. And when you're there, behavior breeds behavior. It moves the other person there. When you're being silly and fun and humorous, it moves the other person there. And when the person, and they can't help but, you know, if you smile at somebody, they will smile back and they don't know why, you know. But if you're in this victim space and in this drain, you know, sort of, oh, woe is me and my problem's bigger than yours, when you're in that space, you will attract people, you know, in that space. And there's a very big difference between being positive and coming from your heart space, literally coming from this space of enthusiasm, compassion, joy, gratitude. When you're coming from this space, from your heart space, it's not positive. It's a feeling. It's a vibration of beauty. It's a vibration of happiness, joy. And, you know, my word for it is bliss out. You know, I just feel blissed. And feel, you know, Tony Robbins says, feeling good for no good reason. I kind of quite like that. I coined that. I know I've done a little bit of Tony Robbins work. He was a bit masculine for me, really. But it was good to do some of the work that I did with him. I did the fire walk, but it was a long time ago and it was what I needed to do. You know, I broke through something, but the one thing that I really, really picked up from him is feeling good for no good reason.
I love that.
I do too. He also has another saying about pulling out the weeds in your life, getting rid of them.
Yeah. But, when people are a drain, I feel that there's something that they haven't learned or don't know. And so you can change a person from being a drain to being a radiator, because they're not getting their energy. So they will say everything they need to say. And then you can share what you have, and that will elevate their experience and their feeling. And it will make them light. And, we can all do that. We can all take some responsibility, and we all have our own sufferings in different ways. But what about, the invitation is, why don't we just all become a radiator and radiate our love and our compassion and our joy in the world? And this is another way that we can create world peace. Because while we're complaining...
Wouldn't that be wonderful if we could do that? But what's really sad, and y'all can disagree with me, please, is that so many people love being the victim. They love to be negative, and it's very hard to go. I'm going to say, you're off your trolley.
And they love the drama. Love the drama.
And that's why I've invited you to say, be the change that you wish to see.
I love that.
And I think it's also liberating once you get away from drains, that you look back and say, oh my gosh, look how much time I wasted by having a drain in my life, and how much it sapped my energy. And because I think the three of us are really radiators. I'm going to include myself. Thank you. I feel like we're all radiators. So we know what it's like to be with people who are not radiators, and we know what it's like to be with others who are radiators, and you love that energy and that connection, and you kind of feed off each other. And it's an exciting place to be, a fun place to be.
Absolutely.
It sure is. I attract radiators, I have to admit. And if they're not really radiating because there's things going on, then they become more playful, more spontaneous, more silly. And there's a few people that I actually, sort of am connected with and working with. I just say, I don't know what it is with you, but I always feel silly. And it's because when you're in that playful state, and that's the childlike state, you don't see children, very young children, being drains. They're all radiators, and that's how we were all born. So we can all step back into that place and be our true authentic self.
I love that. And as a parent, I think I wish we had courses that remind people that the most important thing you're going to be, as far as the majority of the people in the world, if you did the percentage, most likely you're going to be a parent, or you're going to be an aunt or an uncle or someone, but you're going to be inspiring younger people. And if you're a teacher, it's your responsibility to make sure that they blossom and grow, not say to them, gosh, you're so stupid. Why are you not getting it? That cannot happen in the classroom, because you're not helping them to flourish and be their true self and radiate, as you said, which also takes me to, and sorry, I'm just talking, but I just want to also share that I really appreciated how you shared with our audience to figure out how to make the most of your time in that 20-minute, like I spoke about. It really spoke to me that you take a day that you do admin, but you don't mix everything up. And so if you wanted to expand, or Dr. JACALYN, if you have thoughts on that in your own life.
I follow that, definitely. I have my trusty clipboard here, and every day is broken out. So I do certain things at certain times so that I have my energy focused in that area, because it is draining and ineffective, I feel like, to go back and forth through everything. And I also like the idea of finding a space where you can put the devices away, if it's early in the morning or late at night. And Caroline, I'll be working here on my computer, like, it's 3 a.m. She's still up over there. It's like, I can't believe it. It's 4 a.m. Then I wake up, it's like 5 a.m. here. It's like 10, and she's like, does she get any sleep? I don't know.
Oh, I do. Oh my gosh, I do. I go to bed and I sleep in, and it's just that it's the quiet time, to do the admin type things, because my phone's going, emails are popping through, messages, and I do my best work. And the planetary shifts, that the energy between, I think it's 3 and 4 in the morning is a very peaceful energy, and it's a very high vibrational energy. And I tend to, if I've fallen asleep, sometimes I fall asleep early evening, and then I wake up about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. So it sort of depends, I know, but that's because I've got things that I want to do, and I'm at my most creative, and so it's silent and it's quiet in that environment. Whereas when everybody's awake, then the energy, the frequency of the planet is different. So I do tend to find that if I'm doing presentations or emails or admin type work, I get so much done when I'm doing it at night. And then I go to bed. And then I sleep like a baby. I do meditation, I sleep, and then I wake up feeling, well, I've done that in the best and the quietest and the best frequency of the planet. And I've done it quicker than I would have done if I'd have done it during the day.
Good discussion. I know here where I am on this island in this house, it's totally silent. And I look outside and I see the birds, and once in a while there's a boat, but it's totally silent. So this weekend I'm going to see my great niece for the first time. She was born 2 weeks ago, and I'll be in a completely different environment with all my family and everybody running around and different. And so I have to change my energy. I have to take it to a different level, if that makes any sense. And it actually is work for me, because I'm out of my element, because I get so much done here because there aren't really any distractions. And so I'm going to take this time and actually enjoy it. I'm actually going to be open to possibility of what I can learn and how I can connect with my family on a different level this weekend.
That's beautiful. And you know what? You're going to come back refreshed with a new sense of energy, I think.
I think so too. It depends on how the traffic is on the Beltway around Washington, D.C.
Let's prepare yourself and know there's going to be traffic, and just
yeah, it's anywhere from a 3 to 6 hour drive depending on the traffic. So, but I'm looking forward to it. So I just was bringing it up because of energy, how, I'm highly aware of when I am with other people, how I'm reacting, because I'm so used to being isolated that, and Caroline, I think you've had a similar kind of thing, although you are getting out there much more now. And Diane, you've been out quite a lot. So I'm like the extreme, I guess, of you guys.
I've been out, and what would normally be wonderful for me, I've actually felt, I just can't wait to come home, because the noise and the busyness is not what I'm used to, because I really live in quite an oasis of calm. And so when I have been out, I have felt tired quicker, which has been interesting for me because I'm such a social person. So it really, and also when I've had my head full of trying to sort out the tech, that really creates havoc for me, because I don't normally focus there, and that gives me headaches. And so that's something else to be aware of, that if you're doing something that's not your flow, that focus of not being in your flow can give you headaches, because you're not in the energy that's comfortable for you. And I've certainly had a fair share of headaches while I've been sorting out the tech.
Technology will do it to you. It's true. Yesterday, I was able to get over to the gym in between two of the things that I was doing. And I used my key pass because there was nobody manning the desk, and there was no one in the gym. And I can't tell you what an amazing experience it was. I was able to set up stations all around, jump rope, and do all the different things. And I came back and I told my mom, and she said, I would have been terrified to be there by myself. And I said, why? I was in my glory. Like I could just be alone forever, I think. So people look at things differently, right? When it comes to your space and your energy. I'm energized in this space, but someone else might not be energized being alone.
That's true. But and I think that goes, you mentioned earlier the word frequency quite a bit. And Dr. JACALYN, I think you had a sponsor that had music and so forth. And I loved everything that sponsor had to say about music. And frequency, and for the listeners, you know, gongs are so wonderful because they can hit a note, especially when it's kind of low, like, and somehow it just resonates into the spirit. And Caroline, because of the chakras and everything that you know, is that doing something in that chakra that helps you get focused?
Yes, I do gong baths regularly. I've been doing them since 2016. There's still a bit of an underground movement in the UK, but there is more and more people understanding that they're around and coming to them. But it's still not, you know, sort of in the mainstream. But yeah, I do gongs regularly, and it's incredible because every sound, it vibrates a frequency on each of the chakras, and so you can literally be bathed in these healing frequencies. I mean, I just float home when I've done a gong bath. I'm literally high and floating home, and I'm feeling incredible. And you know, when there's like equinoxes and full moons and new moons and solstices, these are times when the planetary changes are at their biggest, and so I find that I get so much more out of doing the gong baths at those times, because everything is frequency. We are frequency. Sadness, loneliness, heartache, despair, depression, anxiety, that's a frequency. Happiness, joy, gratitude, that's a higher frequency. When we're in our space of happiness and joy and compassion, then those lower vibrations don't even come in. You know, nobody can knock you off your spot when you're in those vibrations, and we all are frequency. And so when you appreciate that everything is a frequency, that's why some music we resonate with and some music we don't. There's some music that's feel good. You know, when I was growing up, Dancing Queen was like my number one thing, you know, and I'd be singing along and and dancing and I was the Dancing Queen, you know. And when it moved to the New Romantics, you know, I was a big New Romantic fan in the 80s, and there was just feel good stuff. And when you put a song on that's feel good, you know, I call it wedding music, you know, wedding music, party music. You know, there'll always be a wedding song that will come out that everybody just gets up, you know, and dances to. And it feels good. And that's because they're using frequency. And we're attuned to frequency. It's just that sometimes we forget. And so my mum's a Cliff Richard fan, you know, and when she listens to Cliff Richard, she feels amazing, you know. And when I was growing up, I was an Elvis Presley fan, and I would have my headset on and I'd be listening to his music and I'd feel different, you know. So everything is frequency, including the words that we use, the way that we speak, and most importantly, our inner talk, the things that we say to ourselves. If we're being really negative and really criticizing to ourselves, then we lower our vibration. But if we're saying good things and we're doing good things that we feel happy about and we're feeling good about, then our frequency rises.
Well said. And thank you, Diane. The sponsor is listening to Smile.
Oh.
Frequency-based music. That's exactly what they do. So.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. No, I didn't know that. That's really cool. Yes. That's exactly what it is. I'm very attuned to sound in a big way. And I'm, you know, the shaman that I'm working with, Richard Down, he's explored medicine song through sound. So of course I'm attracting all those people because their frequency is, and he's bringing things that I have never seen or heard of, but I'm having an effect. And if I'm having an effect, then lots of other people will as well. So of course I'm going to share that kind of work. And I want to work with people that are sharing that in the world, because this is how we raise the vibration of ourselves, our families, and the planet, and change things for the better.
Hear, hear. I agree with that. Why don't we take a look at listening to Smile's clip, and then we'll come back and we'll close out the show. How does that sound?
Sounds
All right.
wonderful.
Here we go. Listening to Smile.
The music, services, and programs that we offer at Listening to Smile are based off of scientific studies and research, along with our own personal experiences and testimonials from our clients and our affiliates that we work with worldwide. My own personal journey began in around 2010, and I tried to find relief from a chronic illness that I was diagnosed with. And the traditional ways of healing, they tried to fit me in this box, and that didn't work for me for so many reasons. And this led me to a self-discovery that I never expected to be so life-changing. Healing is multifaceted. It requires us to really look at our whole selves and to get really honest about what we see. I started to see movement towards recovery when I started to integrate yoga into my life daily. When I started to incorporate the music into all aspects of my life, including my yoga practice, my healing completely accelerated, and listening to Smile's music helped me to open my consciousness. I was able to open my eyes to new perspectives and make changes that I needed to make in order to recover. The most noticeable difference that I saw right away, like immediately after listening to my first frequency track, was how much my anxiety stopped, completely stopped. There was such a relief. My mind was actually quiet for the first time in so many years. I felt safe. I felt this comfort and this peace immediately. I continued to listen daily, and I found that amazing things were happening inside of me. I felt calmer, I felt happier. I felt like I was in this little bubble of peace. Physically, I started to see the changes happening. I started to see the things happening in my body that needed to happen for me to heal from my illness. I felt empowered, I felt hopeful, and something that I hadn't felt in years. This is why we at Listening to Smile integrate yoga and Listening to Smile music together. We see such a huge benefit from integrating the music into other modalities of healing. It accelerates these modalities, it steps them up to another level because it works on the brainwave states and the neural pathways in the brain. This is something that is not very easy for us to do alone at home, but the Listening to Smile music makes that possible. This is where real change happens. This is where the body and the mind sync up and work towards health of the being as a whole. That is true health, and Listening to Smile frequency music will get you there.
Thanks to Ian Morris and Dana Cato from Listening to Smile. If you are interested in frequency-based music, you can go to their website, Listening to Smile, and use code RWDJ, which will be retiring very soon, and you can get special pricing. So, ladies, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'd like to spotlight each of you and share what have you taken from this experience of being on Talking Heads and also being on A Better You? Caroline.
I've gained so much. This has been a tremendous journey for me of dealing with the tech. And one of the things that came up for me before I even started was I good enough? And even though I've been doing this work for a long time, was I good enough? Was I what they really wanted? And during this journey that I've been with Talking Heads, A Better You, and Dr. JACALYN, it's given me insights that I just hadn't realized about myself, that I do have great things to share. And I've grown in my own power through this journey. I cannot thank Dr. JACALYN enough for the platform, for the love, for the inspiration, for the appreciation, for the incredible feedback and the compassion that she shared with me, because And I do say this because she's made it easy for me. I have grown personally. Even after 21 years, I've grown incredibly during the short time being on this platform. I'm absolutely totally indebted to what I've experienced on this platform and with you, Dr. JACALYN. Thank you. We have become friends, and that's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm trying not to cry over here. That was really beautiful. And by the way, it's a two-way street because I've learned so much. I love watching you come on, and Diane and our other team members, because you all come from different backgrounds. We've not actually met in person, right? Because of this pandemic and developing this platform, we've all been brought together, I feel like, for a reason, out of all the people in the world. And I really respect and appreciate both of you. So thank you for that. Diane.
I don't even know where to begin. Dr. JACALYN, you are an amazing human being, and you definitely radiate. Being on the Better You and now the Talking Heads as you're moving forward, and I'm so excited for you and where life's going to take you on your journey. But I have grown too, as Caroline has said. It's helped me to focus, to be very direct in the ideas that I want to get across. And like Caroline stated, am I the person that really has something of great value to give? And I know I have a lot to share, but am I that great to think that I am a true talking head? And I've discovered that, yes, I am. But I'm going to improve and get even better. What I love about your show, though, is also how the audience is going to grow and has grown. And I see more and more people listening in and staying tuned and excited about what you are giving them. You're giving them the opportunity to grow and learn in a safe environment that they can create on their own. And I think that's so, so powerful. You are a true light of the world, and I feel very blessed that I've just been a tiny ripple in your world.
Oh, well, thank you, Diane. That's so beautiful to both of you. And you're not a tiny ripple. And by the way, the two of you have nailed these presentations. So please don't ask yourself anymore, am I good enough? Because you are good enough. You are the best. And I really feel this connection, and it has been an incredible journey. If I could tell you the work that I have left to do between now and the next month, we are looking to hire 5 interns. So I need to find my little banner for that. Yes, I'm going to ask for help. So we're hiring interns, 5 of them. And I also want to hire a producer to work alongside with me here in the States. So it's just been so amazing when I think about February and where we started, Alcini and myself, he had the idea of a Better You, and he did all of the intros and the outros, and we worked together collaboratively. And I don't even remember how I started reaching out to people. Diane, you were one of the first. How did that even evolve?
To a friend, it was very serendipity with Zane, remember?
Oh, yes, but I meant for a Better You. How did that happen?
You were kind enough to ask me if I wanted to join.
Okay, I guess. And Caroline, the same with you?
No, Philip Chan, our dear friend Philip Chan,
yes.
And my mentor said, it's time, book your session in with Dr. JACALYN. I go, oh yeah, all right then. And I didn't for a little while, and then he said, her diary's getting booked up. Come on, book. So I did.
Yes, the rest is history. Thank you, Philip Chan. I actually did one presentation on the platform myself, and I have to tell you, this wasn't that long ago. I have to tell you that I wasn't sure if I was good enough. I was really nervous about doing it, and afterwards I was really glad that I did. I got some constructive feedback, which I still take to heart, and I think about it. It was spot on. I'm really open to feedback. So it's been great. But where we're going next is the best in the world. Yes. And we won't just be talking heads on this platform. We will be talking heads, on other platforms as well. So you'll be known as a talking head outside of USA Global TV. So that's part of what is the real excitement for me as well. And of course, we're having our hard launch of USA Global TV January 10th, and we're going to have a lot of exciting new programming, especially focused on fashion, music, and film. So stay tuned for that. All right. Well, anything you would like to leave our audience with, our listeners and our viewers, and then we will say adios for now. Adieu, au revoir. Caroline?
Please reach out if you need help. I offer a free consultation. Email me on nomorestress@live.co.uk. I'm here, and I'm here to help you live a better way and live a better life.
Thank
you. And it's been wonderful to be here. It really has. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Diane?
Dr. Jacalyn, I want to take this moment to congratulate you. I think we need to just step back and let the audience, who I know at home is congratulating you too. We have watched you grow in everything that you've done. It just, every single time it gets better and better and better, which I didn't even think was possible that it could get any better. And where you're taking it is just, it's going to be magical. And for the audience, please continue, because you're going to grow. All of us are going to grow because Dr. Jacalyn's making it possible. And I just want to congratulate you.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I also want to thank Roar Media Creative and Daphne DeLucci and Stephen Gillen for all their support with the graphics that you see and the intro. It's been amazing. I also want to let our audience know that Caroline and Diane are this close to being certified in the power of listening. Just waiting to get the quiz over to you. And so that makes me really proud to know that you believed in me and trusted me to go through the 2 courses. And I just feel excited because 2 more people who are actually authentically listening. And that to me means we have more of a chance of world peace when we're actually all listening to each other. So the fact that you went through that means a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome. It was great, by the way.
It was
fantastic. Don't forget to fill out the survey.
Can I do a commercial for you?
Sure.
For the audience listening, I think we all think we're really good listeners, but I discovered that I could even be a better listener. And it is worth your time to take the Power of Listening course with Dr. Jacalyn. It's a mind-blowing how much you discover about yourself. And so I really encourage you to take this. And Dr. Jacalyn, could you just tell them again how they can sign up for your course?
Well, thank you, Diane. I really appreciate that. The course is called The Power of Listening. There's actually 2 courses, part 1 and part 2. I think I have a banner. And you can go over to Eventbrite and look for The Power of Listening, or you can go to my website. And I thank you for that. I'll leave you with this. I had a conversation with someone, no names, yesterday. And this person, I said to this person, do you have a few minutes so I can share with you what it is that I'm planning on doing? And the person interrupted me continuously, literally continuously interrupted me. And I was so much more aware of it, even going through the process myself, because I'm in the same relationship with this person all the time. And I wasn't aware of how much they were interrupting me. So finally, I just brought it to this person's attention. And I realized that the person felt insecure. And that's why they kept inserting themselves. So we have some work to do there with the nameless person. Okay, so that being said, I look forward to seeing you, Diane, in about an hour for Fashion, Fitness, Travel, and Leisure. And Caroline, I look forward to reaching out to you and reconnecting about when we'll get together again.
Wonderful. It's been an absolute honor, really has. Thank you very much for allowing me to be part of your last show on this particular platform in this way. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both. I love you both, and I wish you a beautiful rest of your day and evening. And again, Diane, I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Remember to go to our YouTube channel, USA Global TV, and subscribe to watch all of our shows and engage. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.